Welcome to the Trading Raw Stories podcast. I'm Rita Pira, the host with the most inspiring stories that you ever did hear. Back in the day when the day was back, I was known as the juicing queen. I became raw vegan overnight after watching a documentary called Food Matters. Changing what I was putting in and on my body didn't just make me lose weight and have great skin, it gave me mind clarity, more energy, and over time made me so self-aware and intuitive that I vibrate on a higher frequency and level of consciousness that's turned me into a manifesting queen. I've lived like 9 lives and have amazing stories to share that may inspire you to leave that guy you're with, quit that job you hate, start that business you've been talking about forever, and at the very least, you'll probably start saying yes more often. I'm your tell it like you need to hear it and make you do it, sister from another mister. I've lived quite the life and have stories for days that have inspired women and transformed their lives in real big ways. So I created this podcast to share my insane and somewhat unbelievable stories with the world to reach whoever needs to hear them. I'll bring on people with stories to trade with me, and I'll even have some live coaching sessions from listeners calling in. You're here because you were meant to find this podcast, this community, these raw stories. There are no coincidences. Everything happens for you, not to you, and I am so glad you're here. Welcome to the Trading Raw Stories podcast. It's Rita. I have a real, super sweet, delicious, amazing, wonderful treat for you today. Your mind is going to be blown. This is going to be the most epic conversation. I just know it. It's with somebody that I met on Instagram. We connected, we vibed. We didn't have much of a conversation because I like to keep it raw and real. And I was like, shut up. Don't say anything else. I don't want to know. Zip it, lock it, put it in your pocket like I told my 5th graders. But who I have for you is a human by the name of Nova. Nova is an artist who boldly moved to New York City during a goddamn pandemic. And she's an out and proud Chaldean trans woman. Her motto is to always evolve her spirit, her goals, and her perspective. And if she can help just one freaking person realize that they're not alone in this world, then she knows she's on the right path. And that's why she's here with me today. And that's why we're having this raw ass conversation to help as many people as possible. So without further ado, here's Nova. What the fuck is a badass?
Hey.
That is the first thing that came to my mind when I saw you on Instagram.
Thank you.
I was like, I have to know this human.
Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for having me. I beyond excited. I'm so happy to be here.
I just lost my mind over you right now because I just walked in the house and I was like, oh, I need my laptop. Oh, where's my speakers? Oh, here's my headphone. Oh, where's my microphone? Oh my God. And I'm like, let me fix my face real quick because she's going to show up like a goddamn queen.
Stop it. You are a queen. Look at you. I was just as excited.
I'm pretty badass.
Yes, you are.
I am pretty badass.
Yes,
badass.
You are. As soon as I saw your Instagram, I was like, oh my God.
Wait, shut up.
I was like, well, I mean this in the best way, like in the most complimentary way. Like, oh my God, who the fuck does she think she is? I was like, okay, yes, bitch, I got you. All right.
Oh, that's hilarious. You know why? Because back in the day when the day was back, I'd be like, no, stop it. And it's like, damn straight, I'm fucking legit. I'm so dope.
That's a good answer too. I love that. Did you create that phrase back in the day when the day was back?
Oh, did you heard that from my podcast?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I think I did, actually.
It's so clever. And I was like, you said it the first time. I was like, what the fuck did she just say? I have to process this. What did she just say? Okay, I get it. Awesome. I'm going to ask her about it, though.
Back in the day when the day was back, that is my thing.
Yes.
Always say it. Yeah, I always say it. So we have a mutual friend, and she posted something about you. And when I saw that it said, my Chaldean trans BB or something like that. And I was like, excuse me, what? I'm sorry, what? Who? Huh? What? What? Like,
those exist, huh?
I was like, no fucking way. We're not even, here's the problem. I'm so sorry, but not sorry. This is the truth. We were literally raised, you're Chaldean, I'm Assyrian. Same shit, different whatever.
Different title, yeah.
Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same.
We're ancient Babylonian, Mesopotamian, back in the day when the day was back, whatever, right? That's we're cut from the same cloth. Let's not be hating each other and fighting and whatever they're doing. Bottom line is we're Middle Eastern. And Middle Eastern women are raised a certain way that's more strict than your average woman. And I'm not trying to draw lines here and say like Asian women have it easier or Black women have it easier than Middle Eastern women. I'm not doing that. I'm not saying that. We all have a struggle. We're all women, right? Let's just put that there first, okay? Because I love you all. Please don't come for me. I'm not going to read the comments. I'm not doing it.
I hear what you're saying. Everybody's got their own. Yeah.
Yes, but being Middle Eastern. So here, this is why we're doing this episode, because we want to shine a little bit of a light on our experience as Middle Eastern women. The fact that you came out as trans is fucking mind-blowing. And the fact that I'm saying fucking is going to drive my mom crazy. And all her friends and all her family, they're going to talk about me till I die. Like, this is just the way it is. It's really sad. We're not allowed to marry outside of our race. We're not allowed to what? Go ahead. Tell me. Come on. Talk to me. Tell me about your
much.
Tell me. Because I'm assuming you had the similar experience. So you tell me your experience. Ready, set, go. Tell me your story.
I 100% think I know what you're saying. Yes. So as far as like my story goes, I just want to echo what you were saying. Like, we share the commonality of being women and being oppressed by men in general. And on top of that, we're put in a box, and we live in America where even as Middle Eastern individuals, our box is not a box to check. We're Caucasian to white people.
Oh my God, that's true. Standardized tests. It was always, we were not listed on there. We're white, Caucasian, or you could choose other.
And I say white people because, yeah, till this day. Yeah, and people don't realize that we have very strict customs, very strict heritage and things that you have to abide by if you want to respect your family. I swear, I've been through it with my family even before I came out as trans. So for me,
I need to hear that story. I need to know when you knew that you were female or woman. I don't even know the appropriate way. So I want to tell you, I don't mean to offend in any way, shape, or form. If I ask you a question or I say something the wrong way or not the respectful, appropriate, like politically correct way and whatever,
oh, no, honey,
I'm learning.
You're fine.
I know, but anyone who's listening, like, I'm learning. This is new for me. I'm being as respectful and as like all the things as possible, but also I am raw and I'm real and I have no filter, and I'm probably saying and asking the things that you are thinking that you're afraid to say or ask, because that's just me. Like, I'm just that real, right? And so just know that I'm always coming from a place of love. I'm always coming from a good place with good intentions. I mean, no offense. I mean, not to hurt you. And if I ask you or get you to talk about something that you're not comfortable with, just pump the brakes. Like, tell me straight to my face, because I always tell people, it's like, you know what? The one thing with communication is if you don't tell me, how the fuck am I going to know?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a good mind reader. I'm super intuitive. I can read people really well. But at the end of the day, if you don't tell me, how will I really know?
Yeah. Well, as a trans person, I'll tell you this, that we as, and probably one of the very few things that I can say about generally about trans folks is that we have no problem telling you when we're uncomfortable with something or when we're not talking about something.
Good.
We're kind of the epitome of living your truth. So we
have
no problem being vocal about that.
That's why when I saw you, so she posted something on her Instagram and I was like, wait, what? Huh? What? And then I ended up on your YouTube video and the title was like Arabic coming out as trans. What was the title?
Being Arabic and coming out trans.
I have never in my life seen or thought I would see those words put together in one sentence. And that stopped me dead in my tracks. I was very curious and I was like, this isn't how? Yeah. Because I can't even date a Black guy without being freaking hung or something. You know what I'm saying? It's really sad. And it's like, oh, you want to respect your family, you want to respect your upbringing and the church and all the things. But I haven't gone to church since I was a kid. I don't even go for Christmas. I don't like, look, I have my book right here, Jesus Calling, right? And I have another book that's called A Course in Miracles. And I'm like very spiritual. I believe that there's a higher power. I believe that there's energy, there's the universe, there's the law of attraction, there's all the, I definitely 1000% know I'm supported. There's a higher power, there's a higher something. I don't know what it is, but it's something. And so you can call it whatever you want to call it. You can call it God, you can call it the universe, you can call it the divine, you can call it source energy, you can call it whatever you want, but you cannot deny that there's something, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So for you to tell your family, just being Middle Eastern in general, to go against what they believe, that they were raised to believe so hardcore. Like we went to Sunday school.
Yeah. I went and took catechism.
Wow.
Yeah. I did the Qurban and everything.
Wow.
Yeah. It was like,
Wow.
yeah. And now you're seeing this trans person use Arabic words. Isn't it weird?
It's mind blowing. It's crazy. And you're so pretty, by the way. I just wanted to tell you, you're pretty.
You
pretty.
Yes, I know.
You're pretty.
Thanks.
So I did a little bit of creeping. I went super far back into your Instagram. I went to the very original, the OG picture, because I was like, I want to see when this happened. I was like, I was so curious. I was like, because when you go back to your Instagram and you go all the way back, it's not you at all. There's almost nothing of you.
And I'll go into this because not only there's a lot to battle just on the front of me being Middle Eastern, but there's a lot to battle with someone of my identity with society in general, which is even more dangerous, believe it or not, than Chaldeans.
Wow, really?
Yes, in a sense. I mean, we trans women, especially trans women, Black trans women and trans women of color, we have the highest death rating. We're murdered very actively throughout the year. Actually, if you look at my Instagram, I started it this year. I compiled a post and shared it to my story and saved it to a highlight. So there's a highlight specifically to show you the death tally. So each person that has died this year that is trans.
Wow.
It's a crisis.
That's heartbreaking. That's so sad. It's like, why can't people just leave people alone? Like, why can't you just live your own life, do you? And why do you care about what anyone else is doing? I can't imagine what it's like to be afraid for my life. I mean, granted, I'm walking around too in like crop tops and shorts. I'm like, I could get, murdered at any minute.
Well, there is the common, there is the fact that as women, we share that experience of unsafety by patriarchy and men. So we share that in general. It's just that there's a special stigma and special shame attributed to our existence that makes us more vulnerable than the average woman. And that's because shame is the culprit for every bad thing.
You know what's crazy? I love that you said that, because shame is really at the core of everything that blocks us as Middle Eastern women too.
Yeah, 100%. It's the root of all control of humanity. It's the root of why people do bad things to people, why hurt people.
I hate that. I hate that that's a thing.
That's so, yeah. But because of that, my Instagram, I used to have a lot of photos of me pre-transition. And that was, I had a whole life, a whole person before all of this. And whether that person was the real person or whether I'm the real person, that's what people like to debate about. I am who I am right now. This is who I am. I have a lot of pride for my past. I really do. He did the best he could with that body, and he did whatever he could to survive. And sometimes you have to, I think that's sometimes what some trans folks lack, is being able to have that perspective, because dysphoria, body dysphoria, which is kind of like the main reason. I could go on for days in explaining these things to you.
I want to pick your brain a little bit about what you just said. if you don't mind. So you said he, you're referring to like your old self as he. And I'm wondering, it was you living in a different
shell.
like, yes. So it was like you're trying on a different outfit, but it didn't feel right and it didn't work. So you had to like almost like a snake sheds its layer or sheds its skin. You're like, this is not working for me. This is not me. And you have to shed that.
Yes. Yeah. For multiple layers. One thing to know that I can't stress enough is that every trans person is different from each other. We all have a different experience. We have a lot of similarities, especially with how we may transition or how we may start off, where obviously, there's a lot to relate to when it comes to two people in a room. You never know what you can relate on. But it's important to understand that no trans experience is the trans experience. So
Yeah.
I may have my own experience, but it might be different, and that might look different on another trans person. Some trans women are very empowered without surgical procedures, without anything,
Right.
and so that has a lot to do with dysphoria. We have a lot going on that I could literally I could give you novels of our experience.
What do you think would be the most powerful thing of your story to talk about, to share, that would empower people who are listening?
Well, for me, it's just that it's telling my specific experience, because I think, as you touched on it before, you were so surprised to see someone who is Arabic and Middle Eastern, and
Because it's not allowed. It doesn't exist. It doesn't happen. It's not okay.
Yeah, it's not. No, it's very hush hush. It's very hush hush. I have family members right now that would be extremely upset.
So they don't know about you?
Oh, they all know. Oh, they all know. I don't treat anybody like they're stupid. No, they all know. So let me give you a little bit about my.
Yeah, let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
So tell me when you knew that you were in the wrong like shell.
Yeah. So that's a little bit more complex, and I'll start when where I grew up.
Okay.
So I grew up in Michigan, and my parents split up when I was 3.
That's not common either for Middle Easterns to split up.
No, so I had basically my dad took my mom from Iraq and migrated here. And I lived with my mom until maybe about 14. And so, you know how the whole Middle Eastern culture goes. Usually the woman takes on the family of the husband, and kind of leaves the mom's side of the family. So that's what I had here for till now. That's all that's in America is my dad's side of the family. My mom's side has migrated elsewhere, but we won't go into that. So I grew up, and not only feeling different and feeling very, I grew up very reserved. I was kind of sheltered. My mom is one of the most powerful and empowering and resilient people that I have ever met or ever, I love her so much. She did everything that she could.
You sound like me when I talk about my mom.
Well, it's a journey, both me and my parents, we've clashed heads for so long. But I've always loved my mom and appreciated what she has done for me. And, that doesn't come without the struggles. My mom, because of that, as a product of that, she was very selfless and gave up her life pretty much for me. And even till this day, it's a very like, what can I do for you? And I love her so much, and everything that I do is so that I could eventually pay it tenfold for her and my family.
I can't with you right now. I can't with you right now. You literally sound exactly like me. I have the same exact relationship with my mom. She is that same human who will give the shirt off of her back for you. She does everything, bends over backwards, puts herself not just last, but like beyond last. Like if you're in a packed car, she'll give up the front seat, the back seat, and she won't even like take the trunk if someone needs to like sit in the trunk. That's her.
My mom is the same. She's so selfless to a fault. And
it's sad. It's sad
because she's actually landed in a lot of unfortunate situations.
So you know how we're talking about our moms right now and how they are?
Mm-hmm.
I am exactly like my mom
Yeah.
in relationships now. Like every relationship
Oh.
I've had, I realized that I am doing what my mom does. I give
Oh.
and give and give and put myself last. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, that's codependence. That's
I'm
yeah.
codependent as fuck.
Yeah,
No.
I'm not diagnosing you, not at all. No. No, no,
No,
no.
actually, I kind of
mean,
know that. I'm reading a book called Permission to Put Yourself First by Nancy Levin. And she's going to
mhm.
be on my podcast, by the way.
I love that. Ooh, good for you.
Yes.
Hey, flip that hair. Let's do it. Yes. Good for you. Our attachment styles, what we learn comes from our parents. So that 100% makes sense. I have a lot of traits of my mom. I look almost exactly like my mom when I,
Me too. And I grew up looking like my dad.
yeah. It's kind of crazy that I went from one end to the other end of the gender spectrum and turned out looking like my mama. And
That's crazy.
yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, I was always in between. So, with that, it was an overbearing relationship as a teenager, being part of the queer community. So the only thing that made sense to me, because I was in a Middle Eastern culture that's heavy on toxic masculinity, that's heavy on like expectations on children,
Yeah.
as I put in my video, before they even come out the freaking womb. Like, there's just so much that families of Middle Eastern backgrounds put on their kids, that when I was born and grew up into adolescence, the only thing that explained my innate femininity, whatever I was feeling on the inside, whatever was going on, the only reflection of that I could see or find, because as you pointed out, there's not much not much to be said within the community about gay, straight, bi, trans, cis, or whatever.
It's just not a thing.
Right. So the only thing that I could attach to as a kid was, oh, I'm gay. So that's one thing that I will spread off and explain. There's a difference between, there's a kind of what I consider a trifecta of somebody's identity. Not the only, but some major parts. There's gender identity, gender expression, and sexuality.
Okay, break it down for us.
They are all mutually exclusive, but they play with each other.
Okay.
And gender identity is how you present to the world, how the world perceives you, how you want the world to perceive you.
So I'm perceived as a woman.
Yes.
Okay.
So your gender expression, I would say, you can confirm this because I can't tell you who you are, is you are a cis woman.
Cis woman? What's that?
So cis is a term that's created basically so that me and you can share the word woman.
Cis, like sister, like SIS?
Like cisgender, CIS.
Oh.
Cisgender.
I've never heard of that before. Pardon my ignorance. I'm learning.
Not at all.
Okay.
No. I expect always to educate.
So you need to write a book, and you need to be a public speaker, and you need to make sure that this YouTube channel of yours happens. You need to show up on people's podcasts and just completely put yourself out there. You are going to be the face of this shit because you're Middle Eastern.
Well, there is a lot of, I'll send you so many resources about people who are already talking about like the structure or like the basics of trans stuff.
But are they Middle Eastern?
You're right. My story is what's important. That's what I'm focused on.
No one has your story. No one is you, period.
Yeah. So that's what I'm focused on. But I was deviating a little just to give you a little bit of understanding. So basically, when you were born, the doctor, the nurse, and your parents looked at your genitalia and said, oh, that's what you are. So they told you, they, meaning society, told you what you are. If you agree with that assumption growing up and finding yourself and associating with society, if you agree with that, you are cisgender. If you disagree with that, you are trans. And then trans has a bunch of different labels. And so
complicated.
Yeah, it is, but once you really absorb it, it's so simple. It's so simple.
There should be a course. You should just create a digital course.
I'll do it. I'll do it specifically catered for Middle Eastern parents, specifically the ones that say, that confuse, like my dad, who talks with a very thick accent.
Oh, my family, they talk too like that.
Yeah, they talk like, "Hi, Habibi, how are you? Do you want hummus? Okay. I have the booty. Do you want meat pie? Okay." That's my grandma in a nutshell.
Oh, that's cute.
But yes, so there's a difference between gender identity and then gender expression and then sexual orientation. So sexual orientation is who you love. Gender identity is how you feel within, and gender expression is how you present to the world. So you could be a trans woman that is straight. You could be a trans woman that is lesbian. You can be a gay man, cis man, and you can be a gay trans man. You can be a straight trans man. We have layers like cis people because people forget, like, that's the biggest misconception within the Middle Eastern culture. Any acronym, any label within the LGBTQ plus is labeled as a perversion to Middle Eastern people. Majority of them. That's a general statement, but a lot of the people that me and you can obviously recognize in our past and who we have associated with. By perversion, I mean they think it's a mental illness. They think it's wrong. And so they often conflate the idea that a gay man will become a woman. So it's very hard to educate because they hold it very strong. And honestly, it's not even just a Middle Eastern thing, but that's why you have like a lot of straight cis men who wouldn't date trans women because they A, have a lot of shame built into their identity, and B, there's a lot of stigma. They think it makes them gay if they date somebody like me. Dating as a trans person sucks.
Oh,
It really does.
wait. Okay, can we talk about that a little bit? Because I'm curious,
Yeah, sure.
and I'm sure people that are listening are as well.
Sure.
So are you interested in men or women?
I am interested in men, but at the same time, if I, sexuality is very fluid. So if I ever can feel that way, like that emotional, that romance with a woman, I would never object to it.
So that's why you thought you were gay, because you were a boy and you were attracted to men.
Yes. And because I was living as a Middle Eastern man.
Okay. So how old were you when you realized, like, hey, something's a little off here? I don't feel like I'm supposed to be in this body. Or how did you feel? Tell me your thoughts.
Yeah, so I have a lot of hindsight moments, which is kind of common with trans people. I can now recognize in my past and childhood when I would have recognized it had I had resources available to me to see this kind of stuff. So when I was a 4-year-old little boy playing with Barbie dolls, that doesn't mean that I was obviously in that moment, like, that's a stereotype, but at the same time, that's when I could recognize how I was playing with those dolls was very crucial and was an indicator for me personally, how I was playing with them, not the fact that I was playing with them, how I was playing with them. And so I was probably about 26 when I made the realization. I actually came out as gay to my parents. That was the only option because how dare I ever think that I would, like, it was not even a thought like, how could I think I would ever be that? It was always like, I hope they don't think that I'm going to be like one of those, right? So,
like, it's limiting. You can't even possibly think that.
Right, yeah.
That's even possible for you.
But I even had the built-in stigma in myself too.
Wow.
I had
yes.
Oh, I wouldn't be one of those.
Right.
Right. So it was attacking my ability. Yeah.
I hate myself right now for even having to admit this. I have to put this out there. The fact that I was raised to marry an Assyrian guy, right? So then when I'm pushing the boundaries that I could push where I could marry a white guy, and that's about it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I can feel that. I don't really have those hangups, I guess, because I've already established with my parents and my family that how dare you think you can control what I want to do with my life.
Wow. See, that's why I felt like I had to talk to you. I had to be like, who is this human who has the courage to step outside of this whole bubble that we were raised in. I want to know.
It took a lot.
Yes, I need to know. I think everyone needs to know that story. I think that is the story.
Rita, it took a lot.
There are so many women out there and men, boys, girls growing up feeling like they can't live their truth. They can't be who they're feeling that they are because their parents and their families, their culture is actually blocking them, is limiting them from being able to truly be who they believe and feel deep down in their own hearts and their own soul.
Yes.
Who they are.
Yeah.
And for me, for example, like if I were attracted to somebody who was of a different race or different ethnicity, like how dare I even consider it? Because my mom, my family, everyone, people will talk. Like even being on this podcast, doing this podcast, speaking about this, I'm bringing shame to my family, don't you know?
Yeah. And that's obviously the biggest stigma with dating outside of your race, is that they don't want to have mixed bloodlines. That's always the root of it.
Right.
That's always the root of it.
There's that, and there's having kids outside of wedlock.
Right. Well, that too.
That's a big one.
Yeah, that's a very big one.
Yeah. It's tough. I have a cousin who got pregnant when she was like 16 in high school. And I remember, because of my programming, let's call it programming. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember telling her not to have it. And I remember so many of my friends that were pregnant, and I told them not to have it because of the way I was programmed. Because A, you're not married.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're not married. You can't have a kid. You're not married.
Yeah. But then you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Exactly.
So the moral of the story is you're going to do what you want to do because it's your life. And what I've learned through my experience.
Only if you allow yourself to do what you're going to do and not block yourself.
But you got to allow yourself. If you love yourself, you're going to do what you got to do. Right?
Well, see, that's the problem. People lack self-love. They're blocked by limiting beliefs and subconscious fears that they have this programming from their childhood, right?
Yes.
So for us, for example, being Middle Eastern or just women in general, we have this whole thing where, oh, you have to get married. You have to have kids. Like that's one thing, one layer of the pressure on us that we're supposed to get married. We're supposed to have kids.
Yeah.
And so then when we don't, there's the pressure of, when are you going to get married? When are you going to have kids? It's like, what if I don't want to? I have
Believe
to.
Me, my grandma asked me that question so much. I think it's part of my history. Like my family is clearly upset. The thing is, though, I can definitely have kids and I can still have kids.
Do you have siblings?
I do. I have a lot of siblings. I have 4 siblings, and one I just found out was my sibling in March.
What do you mean you just found out?
I have a brother who's older than me that apparently I lived around within 10 minutes from for about 15 years of my life, that my dad did not know about, that he had outside of before he met my mother. My dad contacted me about it while I was in New York visiting before I decided to move here. I'll tell you what, I was confused, but then I was like so happy about it because I was alone for pretty much up until I was 15. My little brother was born when I was 15, and because my dad remarried. My dad remarried white too. So,
look at that.
Yeah.
So many rules being broken.
Runs in the family, I guess.
Look at that.
My dad was a bit unconventional. My dad was a black sheep himself. But let me tell you the coming out story, because I feel like that's what you're waiting for, and everybody is probably wanting to hear.
Yeah, let's do that.
So when I knew, I kind of started to come to terms with it. I moved out of my mom's when I was 15 and moved in with my dad, which was very taboo, very, very not okay.
Why?
I was basically leaving my mother.
Oh.
Because I was the only child. They split up when I was 3. So then I was also like leaving my mom when I was 15 to go live with my dad, who had like his own family started.
And your mom was going to be alone?
Yeah, she lived alone, but like she's still alone. But
oh, wow.
I had to do that. I really had to do that, because had I stayed with her, I would not be where I am today.
Your mom is alone till this day. I think I know why. I think she still carries the whole deeply rooted
traditions and
Oh,
beliefs.
yes.
Like,
Oh, yeah, she's like extreme Catholic. We've been through,
like you can't remarry.
yeah.
She dating and finding someone new. She would never do that.
I recently started asking her about her dating life. I won't reveal that here because she would kill
That's
me.
fine.
But there are still like you respect your mom. That's always tradition across all races, right? But
Yeah,
so
totally.
moving with my dad let me have some freedom, and so then I came at like it was before I moved. I had a conversation with a friend. I told him that I was like gay through like AOL chat. I was like, I'm gay. And then like I was processing that with this friend from school while I was living with my mom. And they were like, listen, you know, you got to do something for yourself. And like, imagine another teenager being able to say this to you. Can you imagine like the wisdom from somebody like this? And they're like, it may feel like you're going to hit an all-time low rock bottom, but once you hit rock bottom, there's nowhere to go but up.
Wow.
Yeah, and so obviously I learned that later in life. There's more rock bottoms to come, but then there's always more climbing to do, you know? So I moved out. I took the hard pill. I did what I had to do because I needed to grow. I needed to change. Something needed to happen, or else I would have. My mom hates this. She hates when I talk like this. But I would have been a statistic. I would have killed myself. I really would have killed myself.
How old were you when you felt like that?
When I could recognize those feelings and have that kind of depression, I probably was like 12 or 13.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I had that same thought and those same feelings, but because I was severely bullied.
Yeah, that's what happens. Imagine that being at home too. Not my mom, but just feeling like you can't be yourself, feeling trapped within your own body on some level. That is hard, but in that time it was more about I confused it for sexuality. So when I went to high school somewhere else, I started like kind of releasing the information to friends that I made there. By the time I grew up and was 22, I was living in Chicago and I led a very promiscuous life.
What year was
It was
this?
probably 2014.
I was living in New York at that time.
Okay, wow, okay. And we basically traded spaces.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I was in Chicago, I was high on this, like, I'm finally going to be surrounded by people, a lot more people like me, because I lived in Boys Town. I got an apartment there. I was like,
Did you ever eat at Chicago Diner?
I did. It was the vegan place, right? It was so good. Their milkshakes were divine.
Forget the milkshakes, the freaking wings. Oh,
I really loved, I wasn't vegan until like the last year of living
are you
there.
vegan now?
I'm actually vegetarian now because I fell off when I moved, but now I'm going to go back to being vegan. I just have my own process. I have my process. I go veggie and then I go vegan.
In 2010, I was 100% raw for that whole year. And then following that, I've been vegan ever since. But when I lived in New York and I left my toxic relationship in 2016, I started to dabble in like some dairy, like eggs. I would have eggs Benedict, you know, go out with girls for brunch and I had to have the eggs Benedict and things like that. And then a friend of mine had me tap into some seafood here and there, but it was just like gross and made me like, so I couldn't do it. But yeah. So.
By the time I was actually vegan, I had moved around so much throughout Chicago, and it was kind of almost like I was vegan because I knew it would cost a lot less because I would eat a lot less.
Interesting. And people say that it's expensive to eat healthy. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I can catch both perspectives, but honestly, it's not as it's just as expensive, even more so. If you count the toll that your body goes through when you're not eating healthy in general, like
fact.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
And then it's more expensive to get sick. So boom.
Exactly.
There you go. Anyway, so you're in Chicago and you started releasing information and you're in your early 20s. Are you at this point still presenting as a man?
Yeah, I'm still presenting as a man, still presenting as a gay man.
Okay.
Still identifying as a gay man because I had no idea what the fuck was going through my head. I thought coming out as gay when I remembered this day so vividly. I got a new job and literally before I went in for orientation, I told my mom over the phone that I was gay. And she freaked out on me and had like such a visceral reaction.
I think she may have known. I think everybody knows on some level.
Well, yeah, they all kind of know, but they don't want to talk about it. So, but I confirmed it for them, which gave them. My mom was more so angry how I told her. She was upset that I didn't have courtesy to tell her face to face. But it was like, when you are any part of that acronym, it is not up to the parents how they get told. It is however the child feels safe to tell you.
That's
that should
so
be
powerful right there.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Did you guys hear that? Say it one more time for the people in the back.
You have every right to have whatever feelings or reaction you're going to have, but it's not about how the child tells you. It's about them feeling safe enough to tell you in whatever way they decide to do that. So that's what should be respected. But whatever, we went through that with my mom, and that actually sparked a very big divide between me and her. By that point, I was just in the eyes of my mom and my dad, I'm just making dumb decisions across the board, not only with my life and what I'm doing with who I'm loving and what I'm doing with work. I'm a huge disappointment. They don't want to say it, but I felt such euphoria when I told my mom, after I told my mom, and then that euphoria quickly went away, and I was left feeling the same way that I did before I came to terms with it, and I was just in so much awe.
Yeah.
I made such bad decisions financially. I had to move back home in with my dad. And when I did that, that was a blessing in disguise. It was a blessing in disguise. I needed to leave. I needed to refocus. I realized I was running away from my problems in Michigan by moving to another state. I was running away thinking that being gay and living in the atmosphere of a bunch of other gay men and queer culture, I thought that doing that and finding love at 10 minutes at a time, like I've never been in an actual long-term relationship, even till this day. And I've had a lot of unreciprocated love. I've had unfortunately, just recently, coming out of a really, really, really bad situation.
Damn, we have a lot in common. This is crazy.
We do. Yeah, we have a lot in common. That's a whole book on its own, let alone a damn chapter.
Girl, who are you telling? I thought I was with the love of my life. I just left in April.
Good for you for loving yourself enough to do that, because it's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah, it was not easy. It was definitely the hardest thing I ever had to do.
Yeah.
And I've been through some pretty hard shit.
For sure. So by the time I moved back, I was kind of lost. I felt like I had no career. I had nothing going for me. I always called myself an artist, and I went to Chicago to be an actor, kept working the grind, never got to that. Always had an excuse for everything, not taking opportunities that I should have taken. I was just, not even to do with just my sexuality, but my life was in chaos when I got back. And I started watching, I had always, me and my stepmom have a beautiful relationship. My stepmom is the first person I ever told when I was thinking that I was gay. I told them. And so they were kind of like one of my biggest supporters. And really held space for me, knowing how hard it would be for both my parents to do that for me. So when I moved back, it was kind of, it was really hard. We would watch RuPaul's Drag Race. And I started to kind of see the artist that I was in this one drag queen called Sasha Velour. And very avant-garde, very artsy, chaotic, very regal at the same time. I just saw so much of my artistic ability in them that it made me want to do drag. The biggest misconception is that drag queen, if you do drag, you're trans. You're not, although it was started by trans people.
Wow.
It's now a bunch of cis gay men who dominate the market, aka RuPaul's Drag Race. But when I did drag, I painted my face. I got done up. I don't know how the fuck I saw the woman in me, because I looked like an alien half the time. I don't know how I saw it, but when you first start out, you kind of start with the basics like you do with makeup. And about a year into that, I started to have a lot of conflicting feelings of it, because then I started to realize, okay, well, there are drag queens around me right now who don't want to be a drag queen while having sex. And maybe there's some that do that anyway, but like that's not really for, that's a whole different thing. That's cross-dressing.
Oh, and then how about having sex before marriage? How about that?
Well, I kind of,
Middle Eastern.
I am very sexually liberated, okay?
Uh-huh.
Are you kidding? Sex is a woman's need as much as it is a man's.
Girl.
So I started to realize that I wanted to be some version of my alter ego, which was called Ruby with an I. And I wanted to be some level of that, but every day. I actually have a short story. I'll send it to you that pretty much gives you what I was feeling throughout Chicago and everything. I'll send it to you.
Awesome. I'll add it in the show notes.
It's called Rose Colored Boy.
Aw, that's a cute title.
Thank you. So when I started to process this information, it was really getting to me. I ended up having to perform one night, and I went to the venue.
This is in Michigan?
Yeah, in Michigan. Yeah, Ann Arbor. There's such a vibrant scene there. So I go there, and I started having this queer community, like having all of the things. Like imagine you are freaking out, learning all about this. I was there too. I was a gay man, and I had like understood all of that stuff, and when I say I was that, that's how I was presenting. So like there's that's my history. I'm not mad at it. I'm not ashamed of that. That's how it was for that time. But when I started to really process and understand what was going on through my brain and really learn about what it is to be trans, my brain was like hurting. Imagine finding out that your whole life is a lie, and that there was this possibly quick answer for it this whole time, and it terrifies you because you know that it's going to be one of the most stressful and maybe even dangerous things to reveal to your family who is Middle Eastern, like deadly. Like I thought I was going to be in the middle of Michigan, thrown out and stoned to death by all of my family members. Like I thought that's what was going to happen to me.
Yeah, and see, people hearing this right now, they don't, unless you're Middle Eastern, like you really don't understand how serious it is.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's like we have built-in trauma based off of what we hear happens. When we say back home, we mean like the country of origin, right?
Right.
And so you have this perception of how your family's going to react to anything that's taboo and unacceptable. I actually, and I have never really put this out there, but...
Is this an exclusive?
Kind of, yeah. Like all of my close circle knows this, but I haven't revealed it. Like my parents obviously know, but when I went to this venue this one night that I was supposed to perform, I didn't perform. I ended up drinking a lot. I ended up having, I did wait. And to be honest with you, my alcohol level was below what it needed to be. But in Michigan, they have this thing where they can get you for 0.02 to 0.07 alcohol content. There's like a technicality. They can give you the lowest version of a DUI. And I ended up getting a DUI. And I had never really abused alcohol up until that point. I never really let something like that affect me. In Chicago, I was using marijuana a lot, right? Because who doesn't smoke, right? But at the same time, I was always able to like draw back. I ended up moving home because I realized, oh, I'm falling on certain things. I need to go figure my shit out. But in this sense, something happened, and I ended up on probation and having an arraignment and everything. And as soon as I had that happen, I was wide awake. I was like, I'm getting a therapist. I'm going to a gender one that specializes in gender studies and all of that, and we're going to figure this out. And then no shit, like 2 or 3 weeks later, because I'm a fast person. When I am processing shit, I will literally figure shit out in like a week or two. Like I will get over shit.
I love you.
So
Oh, I love you. Do you understand how we are the same? First of all, let me tell you, I also have a DUI.
Oh, wow.
Long story short, we'll just do it. I was on a date and I had 3 Cosmos, didn't know how strong they were. I'm like young, new to drinking, right? And so I gave him my keys for him to drive because he only had 1 beer. We get into an argument and he drops himself off and gives me my keys to me. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm 10 minutes away. I can get home. I end up blacking out and I'm just driving blindly on the freeway, blacked out. And apparently I hit something and kept driving because when I woke up, I'm driving
Wow.
on the freeway. I wake up like, what is happening? Oh my God. And I pull myself over and my windshield is shattered. My airbags are deployed. I'm lucky to be alive. But so for that to have happened to you and for that to, it's a wake up call.
It is.
It's not, I don't even want to call it a wake up call. Remember how I told you earlier, everything happens for you, not to you.
It's a conscious call.
Yeah.
It's a mental, like, oh, I was crying for help and I went to I ended up in this extreme situation and I don't want to ever get into this situation again.
That's a really good way of putting it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good way of putting it. I also believe that God or the universe or whatever it is for you was like, okay, you're not listening.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not paying attention.
Right.
So here you go.
Yeah.
And then that had to happen. And then the next thing that came was exactly what was meant for you. The next thing that came was exactly what was meant for you.
Yeah.
And it got you to where you are now.
Oh yeah, 100%. That gave me my woke up call for sure. And I started hormones. So by my arraignment, my DUI happened sometime in between October and November. And by the time I was arraigned for it, it was the following year. So by January, February, I had already been going to therapy. I had by the second week of my therapy, I was like, hey guys, my name is Nova. That's my name.
Where'd you get that from? It's beautiful, by the way.
It's one that I always held to me. I didn't realize why, but I love space. I'm always enamored by space. And I also was going to name my child that.
I love it.
Nova was going to be their name, whether it was a boy, girl, or non-binary, doesn't matter. But then I was like, no, it fits for me. Also, of course, I would name myself after a star that would explode, but then also give birth to life.
I love it.
That's what a supernova is. A supernova is the sun and it explodes. And then when a sun explodes, it's basically exploding material out, and space uses that material to form planets again.
Beautiful. And what about Xera?
That was literally just me being an artist and finding something that matched Nova. And I only did that because when things were a little rough between me and my dad over everything, because of the stigma that Middle Eastern families have, I had to change my last name, which I bet they all kind of, at least I think my dad kind of regrets telling me to do that because I'm no longer sharing his last name.
Nova Xera. That's hot.
Thanks.
I like it. I like it a lot. I still can't believe you're Chaldean. This is insane. Like my mind is still blown. I'm looking at you right now and I'm just like, how? How is this real? This is crazy. You are so brave. You are so courageous. You are seriously like, you should be so proud of yourself. Every single day, I hope you wake up and look in the mirror and go, you're a bad bitch, because you are so badass. Like when I came online with you, the first thing I said to you was what?
Hey, badass.
Hey, badass.
Yes.
Like, I want you to look in the mirror every day and go, hey, badass. Like, will you promise me? Will you do that every morning?
Yes, I'll do that. Yes.
It's more for you than for me, but I love the idea of you waking up every morning and looking in the mirror and going, hey, badass, I'm going to get you some flowers today, you fucking badass. I want you to look yourself in the mirror and have a conversation with yourself. I want you to stand in front of the mirror, just look at yourself dead in your eyes and tell you, I love you. You're a badass. And buy yourself some flowers every single woman, every man, whoever is listening, do that for yourself, because our negative self-talk is so brutal.
I love that. Yeah. Well, it's what we pick up from childhood. It's what we pick up from people we come across. Like, even if somebody criticizes you, it sticks in your brain. And so having self-affirmations, saying you're a badass, saying I'm beautiful, that's actually what I had to do as part of my journey, because I was going through a lot of self-hatred, of course, as one does when they don't know their identity.
You must have been so confused and scared. And
for so long, I was. One of the first things that a friend of mine did for me was tell me to look in the mirror and find one thing to appreciate about yourself. And I started with my eyes, because I loved my eyes. They were like, that's the one thing that I could see me in, right? Like, that's the one thing I could recognize of myself, which is very interesting as a trans person. If I think about it now, I'm just realizing this. I gravitated towards my eyes because it's the one thing that I knew didn't need to change.
Oh my God, that's dope. I love that. And that's the one thing that like we really get that's a plus from being Middle Eastern.
Yeah. I mean, Middle Eastern women, we're fucking beautiful. I mean, yeah, we might go through a hairy phase when we're young, but like,
I was very hairy. Okay, so you remember how I told you I was severely bullied?
Mm-hmm.
You know what they called me?
No, I don't want to know.
It was sad.
Oh no. What did
they called me Teen Wolf? I know.
Well, look at you now, though. Look at you now. You could be on Teen Wolf. Are you kidding?
I know. Eat your heart out, For short, they called me TW. They saw me walking past them and they would howl at me like a wolf. And if I'm walking through the gravel across the yard, hey, TW, ow, ow, ow.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm the sweetest, nicest 12-year-old you've ever met in your life. Teacher's pet, people pleaser, just wanted you to like me. Like I was good and innocent and just a big giant heart. Both my parents have huge hearts and they're such good people. And like they'd give the shirts off their backs and all that, you know?
Yeah.
Like that was crazy. That was my childhood. I wanted to drop out of elementary school and transfer schools or so. It was brutal. I went home crying.
Are brutal because they just say what's on their mind. Yeah.
Yeah. I went home crying every single day. Every day.
I would have to walk home from my school to my mom's house, like where we were living. I would have apples thrown at me.
No.
Yeah. Because like I mean, when you're Middle Eastern, you get this. Whenever you're doing something against the grain, you're kind of always coming out of the closet with something. But the big ones for me, like I came out like quite a bit, moving out of my mom's, coming out as gay and then coming out as trans. And then basically also in general, coming out as your
the box you want to put me in.
The box, your Chaldean roles that you want to put me in. Fuck all of that. You brought me to America because for some reason you thought there was a life here for me. Guess what? I'm going to find my life and I'm going to do that and you're not going to get mad at me.
They regret that shit when they come here.
Oh, they
regret it. They all regret it.
They regret it. They're like, oh, we should have taken you back. And they're like, coulda, woulda, shoulda. I don't live there. I live now. So bye.
I don't know how many times my mom goes, if we were in studio, like, we're not though. So like,
we're not. And I'm making the best of what I can, and thank God for that. But because I was living so closely to one identity that made sense to me, I was also bullied from that, and I mean, I remember in high school, I walked past this gym door and this sign that was posted up there that was drawn by another student, and it had like the tricks are for kids rabbit on there, but it said silly faggot, dicks are for chicks. Yeah. Like that's the kind of stuff that I like had to endure on top of that.
Were you the only person in the school that you knew of that was going through this?
Trans? Probably. No, actually, no. One of my best friends, his name was Sam. He passed away actually in 2012. he has actually a huge influence on me as far as being able to live my life.
How can I ask, how did he pass?
He got in a car accident. He was going to a downtown area, and there was a back, from what I understand, I don't know, this is the story that I was told, was that there was a traffic and I guess a pile up on the highway, and he didn't realize that they were stopped, and he drove into the back of a semi.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough when you're driving fast and you can't slow yourself
Yeah.
down and you don't see what's ahead.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm curious. See, that's what I mean is like when I ask questions, it's like what people are wondering, but they're scared to ask.
Well, that's the point of, I mean,
You know
I
what I
know what I'm
mean?
signing up for, and I'll tell you if I'm uncomfortable. But I'm such an open book that nothing really affects me.
Me
So,
too.
unless I have an emotional tie to it.
And yet another thing we have in common.
Yeah. But I mean, as far as like my coming out story, it's so nuanced. There's so much that goes into it that I want to say. But my mom was actually diagnosed with breast cancer while I was in like 4 months into transitioning.
Oh my God.
And I had to tell her, actually.
Wait, so she didn't know yet?
She hadn't known yet, but 4 months before that point, I knew she had cancer, and we were kind of working through that.
How is she now?
She's good. She's close. I'm hoping she's close to remission, but she had her surgery and everything.
So can I tell you something about health really quickly?
Yeah.
This being the Trading Raw Stories, like the title Trading Raw Stories is obviously raw stories, like actual stories that are raw and real, and just that's the big thing.
Sure.
At the same time, I was raw vegan in 2010, and me going through that process, it like was my spiritual awakening. It shook me to my core. It made me open my eyes. At the same time, my mind became more clear, and my power from within was turned on because I tapped into the power that was just like brain fog. Like when you put nourishing things in your body, your mind starts to work at its most optimal level, right?
Well, yeah, of course. What you feed your body, you feed your soul.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Oh, I love you. Okay. So here's something interesting that I want you to think about. And this is what I try to explain to people that are sick. Your mind is so powerful that you can turn on illness and turn it off with your mind. And so when you're nourishing your body with the right foods, raw fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, green juices, all that, great. But if you are sad and you're stressed and you're angry and you're resentful and you're carrying all these negative vibrational energies in your body, you're making yourself sick.
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because I have a friend whose parents are older. His dad is now sick and in his 90s, like at the tail end, like can't even care for himself. Like he's now like a baby, needs to be taken care of. Like, you know, when you go through the cycle of life, you start off as a baby needing to be diapered and taken care of, and then you end up being diapered and taken care of.
Yeah, you
So
revert
that's
back.
where exactly. And so that's where he is right now. And his mom is now so sick in her 70s, out of nowhere, unexpectedly sick, cancer. Well, has a few months, maybe to a year left. How? Out of nowhere.
Wow.
Out of nowhere. It's because she's watching her husband, the love of her life, deteriorate. It's making her sad. It's a low vibrational energy that she's carrying every single day, stress, sadness, whatever it is. So it's making her sick. And so I wonder if something similar is happening with your mom for her to develop cancer like that.
I wouldn't put it past it. Life happens and paths have to go the way that they're going to go. But my mom, I love her so much, but I think one of her biggest struggles is taking care of herself. And there was me leaving and me coming out and me being lost. Cause like, as a parent, they're in pain because you're in pain. So if you're ever hurt from a relationship, feeling sick or whatever, your mom is just gonna like always take that on, especially an Arabic mom.
They don't know how to. I don't know how to. I learned it so much from my mom that I do so much that she does that I sometimes don't even put myself first. It's really scary how we're raised subconsciously watching our moms do what they do because then we learn it.
Yeah, attachment styles. I think everybody has codependent tendencies, but at the same time, when it comes to experiences with mothers like this, who are very selfless, but also in their nature, they also don't really let you have your identity. So what happens is you don't know how to relate to the world as you are. You just see everything as a reflection of you. So then unfortunately, you become a servant to everything around you rather than a servant to yourself.
It's like you're not even living your own life.
Yeah.
If you're living the life that you're supposed to live because of your culture.
Or what you think people need.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're meeting the needs of others rather than meeting the needs of your own.
So what advice would you give to somebody who's listening to this, who's feeling all sorts of confused in who they are, what they're supposed to be, or who they want to be, who they know themselves to be, who they're supposed to be according to their culture, according to their parents, according to whatever society? What would you say to them to empower them to live their truth?
Oh man. I would say forgive yourself for not knowing yourself. And then I would say find something in the mirror that you like about yourself and go from there.
And tell yourself you're a badass.
And tell yourself you're a badass and that it's okay to feel lost and that it's okay to meet your needs and it's okay to think of yourself.
Wow, I love that. Man, that was good. That was powerful. I feel like anyone who's listening felt that big time.
I think people go through growth phases, and when you plateau, you're not growing. And it's usually because of outside factors or when you're out of touch with yourself.
Or when you're in a comfort zone.
Yeah, exactly. Also known as a cycle or a habit.
Pattern.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And so when you're in those patterns, you're usually not serving yourself. You're not picking up on red flags around you. You're not listening to yourself. Listen to your body, listen to yourself, your feelings. I think, one of the biggest things that you could do is literally let yourself feel things. Let yourself feel, exist in the moment, be in your feelings. Don't stay in there too long, but be in your feelings so that you can recognize them and so that you can say, okay, this is how I feel. It is what it is. This is how I feel.
Then what do you do with that?
Well, then you learn acceptance. Then once you understand your feelings, you can move on. You can't move forward without changing habits. So how do you change habits if you don't understand what you're feeling? If you understand the why are you doing what you're doing because of how you feel? You just gotta listen to yourself, basically. And so if you're battling an identity crisis, if you think you're trans, first of all, odds are if you have to ask yourself, you probably are.
Ooh, one more time for the people in the back. One more time.
If you have to ask yourself, you probably are. Same with being gay, lesbian, if you poly, whatever you want to, whatever you're wondering. If you have to ask, you probably are.
Do you think that applies to other things in life?
Yeah, 100%. Like racism.
Wow, if you think you're racist, you are.
Well, I think everyone is racist, and I don't mean that as an argumentative phrase. I think that because we live in a white-controlled society, everyone is racist because we're all conditioned to the system that's oppressing those who don't have power.
I see.
And so we are all in conjunction racist because of having a set of privileges in society compared to someone else. There's rampant racism within the Middle Eastern culture, and I often call my family out on it all the time. Yeah, so if you're battling something, a decision, a choice, an identity, you just have to really listen to yourself and listen to what you want and what you need to be happy. Your quality of life. You live once. You really live once.
You really live once.
Yeah.
Once.
You don't live twice. You don't get, I mean, you don't remember living twice if you believe in reincarnation, but you don't remember it. So you theoretically really just live once. So what else are you going to do?
I've said this so many times. You really have only one life.
Mm-hmm.
And when I meet a woman who's in a toxic relationship or like just you can see she's unhappy or miserable or suffering or something, I'm like, this is what I ask. Do you really want this to be your life?
Mm-hmm. That's real. You have to ask yourself the tough questions so you can move forward. I feel like you kind of get the gist of my coming out story. I told my mom at my 4-month mark of 4 months because I knew my body was going to continue to change and it would have been hard because I was still hiding who I was to my family and then presenting as a woman outside of my family. And so at some point I just like, as long as I told my parents, I didn't give a shit about anybody else. You know, and you know how stigmas go within Middle Eastern families. So like they're gonna talk anyway. They're gonna find out in their own way. They can go live their life gossiping behind my back. That's fine. They can pretend that they're open to me being in their life and then never talk to me, never acknowledge me, and expect me to do that for them. They expect me to call them. I have a wonderful relationship with my mom's side of the family. But my dad's side of the family, I had to really come to a lot of acceptance. And at this point, my door is wide open to them. Whenever they are ready, I love them. I want them to be in my life, and I want them to see how wonderful I am without expecting me to be like something else, whatever in their head, whatever idea of me that they have in their head. It's not what they think. They should give me a chance because I'm ready to let them see my life. That was the whole problem with me and my family overall, was that I was too afraid to be myself around them. And because of that, they didn't get to transition with me. And that's kind of something that sucked. I kind of took everything in my own hands and transitioned and just was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to do what I want, which is fine. I needed to do that. But I also recognized that I didn't give them an opportunity to grow with me and experience who I was becoming and who I am in a bunch of different ways, you know, leaving my mom, going to Chicago, kind of like living the American lifestyle in their eyes, being Americanized, meaning separating from parents and living your life, but then also transitioning without telling them, without, you know, like there is a sense of, they're probably like, what the hell? Who is this person? Like, who are they? That's fine. And I'm ready for them I've already started the process of reaching out and making amends and being open to rebuild those connections that are healthy for you. That is the most adult thing that you can do.
Wow. Two things right there that we have in common yet again, my dear. So the one thing is I moved out, I left when I was 17 years old and I lived on my own, and you're not supposed to do that, you know, in Middle Eastern culture. You're supposed to stay home until you get married and then you move out.
Yeah.
I left when I was 17, and partly because my dad beat me black and blue, and partly because I had a job. I was making really good money. I had my own car. I didn't need to live at home, and I wanted my own. I didn't want to share a house with so many people. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, so then I moved out, and after I moved out, I ended up working on Vans Warped Tour. I lived in Vegas. I lived in Arizona. I lived in New York. I moved back to Chicago briefly. Now I live in California. So like I've not really been in Chicago, living in Chicago in a decade.
Yeah. Good for you.
So no one has I've grown into the woman that I am. I've transitioned, if you will, into many versions of myself. I tried on different versions of myself. I broke myself down into little itty bitty pieces and became the woman that I am today. And I still have layers that I'm peeling back.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the fear of judgment and the fear of being seen and breaking my mom's heart and coming out and saying things that I'm saying on this podcast that are going to embarrass her and whoever hears this. You know what I mean?
That's just it right there, is that understanding that part of life is understanding that you're always growing and you're always learning and you're always shifting and you're always molding and you're always becoming.
Yep.
So
And that's how we described you in the very beginning of the podcast.
Yes. Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
And that's one thing. So we both kind of like left and grew up outside of our families. We didn't let them grow with us, but we needed to leave to grow. You have to understand that.
Well, it's kind of hard to grow when you have people scrutinizing you the whole time.
Yes.
So,
yes.
And whether or not they will admit that they're doing it or admit how whether or not they'll recognize how they'll do it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times they'll be like, what are you talking about? We love you. We want you to be happy and all of that. And you're like, that's fine. But I can see it in your eyes, the judgment.
The judgment, the pressure. Yeah, definitely.
And you know damn well that I'm doing something that you're expecting me not to do because it's not what you're doing and what you were told to do.
Right. It's not by your rules or the way you were raised or the way that you expected me to be.
Yeah. They didn't know what was coming to them when I turned into a teenager. Like they had no idea. They're like, cause I was always like the quiet, everybody always loved like, oh, you're such a sweet little person. You're so nice. I was also the kid that people compared me to their, like, you should be like this person. Why can't you be more like her? And all of that. And once I got my mouth working, it was done. It was done. My mom was like, who the hell are you? Why are you talking back at me? I'm like, I'm not. Mom, I'm sticking up for myself. Okay, well, like tone it down.
My God.
And so
I love it.
I can't say that I was rational throughout the whole thing, but like, I went through what I went through. Oh,
you had to, you had to go through it.
What I wanted to tell you that I realized today, though, I'm excited about this because it has a lot to do with growing and shifting and patterns and cycles. And so specifically coming out of like a very toxic relationship, whether it's with a friend, a romantic partner, a parent, a family member, or an acquaintance, or like an uncle, it doesn't matter, or a combination of all of those. No matter the relationship, when you're coming out of something toxic or something very unhealthy, I noticed this in myself first, and I noticed this in women and some men too. When you're breaking out of a relationship, you go through the heartbreak. Do you ever notice that you bounce back up and you start doing things almost like a trauma response? You start doing things that is everything you've ever wanted to do. Like that's why you maybe notice like somebody changes their hair after a relationship. Now all of a sudden they're starting to go let's say you wanted to do yoga and now they're doing yoga.
Oh, you mean like how I started my podcast? And I was,
Yeah. And so like, exactly. Let's say you're just doing things for yourself because you love to do them, or you're getting your dreams started and you're doing that. Ever notice how that shit stops when someone comes into your life and you start feeling like you're in love with them, or you lose yourself? So
you lose yourself in that person. Yes.
That person is not meant for you. That is a red flag.
That's my biggest problem.
When that happens, that is a red flag. The person that you meet that you are supposed to be in love with, or other people, because there's relationship dynamics where you can date more than one, when you meet someone and you are not losing yourself, in fact, you are becoming yourself tenfold because of this person, that is when that person's meant for you.
Damn. You keep saying things that I want to be like, say it one more time for the people in the back. No, really though, I can't with you right now, because I was just talking about this yesterday, how like I lose myself in whoever I'm dating. Mm-hmm. And it's because I was raised to be of service to whoever I'm with. I cater, I cook, I clean, I do all the things. Like I'm old school and whatever. And I'm just like, that's just me. And I'm a giver. My love languages, acts of service. And that's just me. But I suffer. I put all my things last. I stopped doing my bubble baths. I stopped buying myself flowers. I expect the person to buy me flowers. Like I've been buying myself flowers every Sunday for years. Why did I stop? Because I expect you to do it for me now?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Well, the other part of what I realized too is that we're always, it's not just about, oh, when this person comes into your life, this is what it'll be like, this is what the red flag is. We don't recognize that that is what we need to be doing, the in-between part, the stuff that you're doing for yourself.
While you're with the person?
Forget the person. The point is, forget the person. That phase, it's usually short because someone finds another bad cycle. Do you ever notice that? It's usually short. It's maybe lasts like a month or two, and then you start talking to somebody else, and all of a sudden you're losing yourself again. Keep that going. That is who you are. The in-between is who you are.
The thing is that people that do that, I think it's because you don't love yourself enough by yourself that you seek it in someone else. And when you find someone who will allow you to attach to them, you like sink your claws in and you're like, ooh, yay.
It could also be that.
Yeah.
Both can be true. But at the same time, I think it's more so because we all think that we need validation and love, or like we all just get, I think it's more so we just get wrapped into the wrong people, and that detracts us. And it's not so much that you don't love yourself, because getting yourself out of that situation is the most strongest form of love, self-love that you can do, is getting yourself out of that. I think my point is you've heard this time and time again, when someone says to you, oh, just focus on yourself and it'll come. What they're talking about is that little phase where you're trying to get over the heartbreak and you're like almost passionately going after your dreams and yourself. That's what they mean. That is focusing on yourself. That's what that is manifested. And you just need to do that. I need to do that. I'm recognizing that for myself. That's what I learned.
You know, we teach what we most need to learn ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
And what you just said hit my heart. Like it's exactly what I needed to hear, because I just went through that and I keep repeating this pattern. I think that you and I connected and found each other, not just for the external, like everyone who's going to find this podcast, but I think I needed you and I think you needed me.
Same. Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. It was very cosmic.
I love this. I love this.
Yeah.
Oh, so crazy. Oh. The magic. I love it.
I didn't know what to expect, but I also was really happy to feel excited.
The unknown.
The unknown. Yeah. Yes. Which is, I think, what a lot of people are afraid of. But anyway, yeah.
No, wait, go back. That's what it is. I did a podcast episode with Erica Lynn just the other night, and we were talking about how people are afraid of the what if, how they're afraid of the unknown, how they expect negative outcomes, how they expect the worst possible outcomes to come. And they don't say yes to things. They say no out of fear. They don't step outside their comfort zone. They stay in a little familiar, little bubble, little safe zone. And their life is the same. There's so many people that live like 10, 20 minutes from where they grew up. So I encourage women to like break out of relationships. Like, you don't need a man. Stop putting yourself in this form, in this little bubble, like you're in this relationship and this is your identity. Why don't you love yourself first? Be a woman first. Go discover who you are, explore your passions, explore your purpose, just play with the unknown. Say yes to shit. Do scary shit. The thing that makes you uncomfortable, the thing that makes you go, oh, no, I could never do that, but I want to, but I can't, but I want to, but I can't. Do it. You need to be alone. You need to just do you, love yourself hard as hell, and just explore and become the woman you're meant to be, and just step into that, and don't be scared, and like do it. For example, with the whole like unknown, what to expect. I don't know. Maybe like this random person hit me up and said she wants me to be on her podcast. Like, oh no, I don't know. Maybe not. But instead you said yes.
Yeah.
And now this is going to open doors for you that you have no idea. No clue what's to come.
Yeah, something's cracked open, but we'll find out what.
Exactly. Exactly. It's meant to be.
Yeah, I can see the light peeking through the crack. Yeah.
Everything happens for you, not to you. I always say
I love
this.
That. Yeah. The universe always says yes.
Yes. Oh my God, we just said that in the last episode.
I know. I
oh, you heard it.
I listened to it. Yes.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I'm so happy. So I'm glad that you liked it. That's dope.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, it made me feel so good when I found you, because I was like,
holy shit, this is bigger. What you're doing, coming out as trans, as a Chaldean, Arabic, what have you, person, is crazier than anything anyone could do in any Middle Eastern culture, I think.
Right.
I was really excited when I discovered you as a human on this planet doing what you're doing ever so bravely. I commend you. I'm inspired by you, and I seriously feel like I had to get your story out to show you to whoever's going to find my podcast, be like, look, this beautiful Middle Eastern human is speaking and living their truth out of all the fear and judgment and the garbage that we're raised with. You're like, I'm going to be me. You're going to love me. You're going to hate me. This is me.
At the same time, I do also subtly recognize the dangers there, because sometimes I do worry about what would happen to some family that still live back home. What would happen to them? Because that seems to be the fear that's instilled by some of my other family members. Oh, you know what would happen to us if people found out?
Oh, that breaks my heart.
There is that subtle fear, but I tend not to think. I do what I do, but I tend not to think about it, because like if I do, I mean, it's like adding anxiety when I shouldn't worry about it. But
that really breaks my heart. It's like almost trying to guilt trip you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they're ashamed.
Yes.
Yeah. My next YouTube video is going to be about shame. That's my next topic, actually. It's going to be about shame.
That's going to be fun. Oh my gosh. I love you so much. I'm so grateful because you've inspired me. And I know for a fact whoever's going to hear this is going to be inspired.
Thank you so much. It was an honor. It's such a blessing. I adore you. Next time I'll bring my own sex voice for the podcast.
Let's hear it now.
I don't want to do it.
Come on, you tease.
No, my mom might be listening. You never know.
Oh my God, I love you. You're a freaking hoot. Thank you so much. It was so much fun. I'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later, sweetie.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Buy yourself some flowers.
I will. Tell yourself you're a badass in the mirror.
Oh my God, I will. And you post your pictures of your flowers and tag me.
I will. Okay. I will. I'll do it Sunday for self-care Sunday.
Self-care Sunday. Buy yourself flowers. All right, girlfriend. You are a badass. I love you. Bye.
Bye.
As Nova Xera would say, damn, Gina. That was legit such a good episode. Holy crap. I still have chills from it. My goodness. So you can find Nova Xera on Instagram at NovaXera. I'm going to link it in the show notes. And she's got a YouTube channel, so I'll also link that. And I'm going to attach or upload the Rose-Colored Boy short story that she mentioned as well. So you can definitely get all of that, and I will link everything in the show notes. And I'm so excited for you to connect with her. She is a badass and super inspiring and all the things. So yeah, I've got some takeaways for you, but I'm sure you got a lot on your own. So let me share what I've got with you. You ready? Are you ready? I don't think you're ready. Okay, here we go. Number 1, we're put in a box, but it's a cardboard box. So bust through that shit and live this one life fully as your authentic self. Number 2, you are special. God doesn't make mistakes. No one has your story and no one can be you, honey. Period. So live it. Be you. Do you, boo-boo. Number 3, sexual orientation is who you love. Gender identity is how you feel within. And gender expression is how you present yourself to the world. So love who you love, feel how you feel, and show the world who you are unapologetically. Did I sound creepy? Number 4, forgive yourself for negative thoughts and feelings. Find something in the mirror that you like about yourself. Tell yourself you're a badass and get yourself some flowers. Number 5, it's okay to feel lost and confused or stuck. Just honor your feelings, love and put yourself first. Let yourself feel the feelings, accept them and let them pass. And number 6, instead of worrying and expecting the worst, try being excited about the unknown and expect miracles. Everything is working out for you. Believe that. Number 7, you only have this one life, so make it count and live out loud. Well, that's it for the takeaways, guys. And that's it for this episode of the Trading Raw Stories podcast. I am your girl, Rita Pira, and you can find me on Instagram at rawveganrita or at Trading Raw Stories. I'm going to link everything in the show notes. If you don't mind, please go and give this show a good old 5 stars, please, pretty please, with a cherry on top. Go and leave a review. I would love to know what you think of it. I'd love to know what you want to hear more of, what you want to hear less of. So just check us out every Tuesday, and that's about it. So have a great night, morning, evening, whatever. I gotta go. I'm delirious. Gotta get up early in the morning. Okay, bye.